Have you ever thought that you'd solved a problem, only to find out you were nowhere near? If you're new here, you're joining us partway through a long and problematic story. We've been living off-grid in this woodland for many years now, and there's one aspect of our off-grid life that we've had to come back to over and over again. Installing our water system was one of the first things we did. We collect rainwater off of our roofs and then filter it so that it is safe for drinking. Since the initial installation, we've added a UV filter and multiple tanks, but our needs have increased too, from 2 people to 4. We've also added a polytunnel, a vegetable garden, and chickens too, and these have caused a massive increase in the amount of water we use. Earlier this year, after 8 weeks of hot weather and only 1 hour of rain, the unthinkable happened, and we ran out of water. Having to bring water in from elsewhere was a massive reality check for us. We know that off-grid means different things to different people, and the definition can be complicated, but to us it is simple. No connection to public utilities, including electricity and water. Some of you will know that we grew this woodland from scratch, and the 3,000 trees you can see were planted by us. This is more than just a woodland to our family. It is decades of work, which makes our water supply problem even more worrying, because if we cannot solve it, we have 2 choices: join the mains and end our off-grid dream, or leave. This is the plan. We're going to create a pond which will act as a reservoir, as well as a nature pond. We've chosen to make it 25 metres long and 15 metres wide. Why these measurements? Because that is the most liner that we can afford. We've had a few small ponds down here over the years, but none were ever lined and none were to this scale. As well as digging a pond, we will add a trench for the pipes that will connect it to the rest of the water system. At 2 metres deep, it will be able to hold in excess of 500,000 litres, the equivalent of 50 of the storage tanks that we have in place already. After spending time measuring and finalising the location of the pond, Fraser was ready to put the hired digger to use. Unfortunately, at that point, our camera cut out without us realising, and that meant that we missed the initial digging stage. And that's the thing with off-grid life. You can't just re-dig a pond so that you can film it because you missed it the first time. By the end of day 1, the initial shape of the pond was in place, and now we had to ensure that the levels were right.
So we're digging this enormous hole and it feels like I haven't got enough soil to bank it up. So I'm searching for little bits of soil everywhere now. I've got another bit of this I've got to do, and it's the overflow area. So my dad has cut these hazel trees down, and it leads up to where the ditch is that we're going to join into. So I'm going to cut this out, and then the runoff from our pond can make a waterfall or something like that, you know, a stream. Because we've banked this up, we'll have a little bit of runoff when it gets to a level with a tap we can turn on, or an overflow, both, overflow and a tap if we want it, and send it across, and might be something nice to look at as well as something functional later on.
Are you listening to me? If you haven't, then you ought to be. I'm here to get this point across. I'll tell you why. It's just because I'm gonna break through to you. It's when the signs are all pointing true. If it's the last thing I'll ever do, I'm gonna break through to you.
It's coming on. There's our water. I'm imagining now, see there's no water there, but then you've got our little cutting where it's going to be piped through here, an overflow flowing out, and also a tap for when we want to just switch it on and perhaps watch water run down here. So it's going to take a little bit of time for this lot to recover. Hopefully next year we might get some, well, over the winter let's hope that actually fills up. That'd be a good start. And then grass seed and wildflowers around the outside, see what happens there. It's all time. I'll start saying I'm going to be able to do this and do that, something will happen. So we had a hydraulic hose blow, and there's the oil. I've just covered it up with sawdust, but guys come out and repaired it, but that's held us up. So we're supposed to have it another day to get it done. I would have got this finished off and got some trenches to put in with some power and some water, but it's not going to happen now, so I've got to hire it, get it another day. So they fixed the digger today, and I was expecting it to get collected, so we didn't start doing any work, and then they told us after waiting in all day, they said I can't get it till tomorrow.
We've made lots of changes to the land over the years, but the last few days have been the most drastic of all. It almost feels as if the land is scarred, but we've done what we needed to do, and now we can move forward and start to turn what we have into the water reservoir that we need. Collecting water is only the start of the process. If you're thinking about living off-grid, you'll need to filter it too, and you can watch this video here to see how we do it.